Hi, this is Gitta Gavar from Alluring Happy Women, and today my guest is Lovelda Smith, and we are talking about the feminine power. Do women make the best business owners? And Lovelda Smith is founder of Collaboration Club, and she helps startups and business owners to make the best of the business. And she is located in UK, and she is telling her point of view or take on the feminine. So, without further ado, Lovelda Smith, could you please introduce yourself shortly and tell why and how you choose to create your business?
Yeah, sure. My name is Lovelda Smith. I'm the founder of a company called Collaboration Club. I work with creative business owners and helping their business running. And I kind of came across it, I would say it was a bit of a social experiment. So what I'd originally set out to do was help all entrepreneurs by working collaboratively. And the principle and idea came because I'd been dabbling in business for a while, and it dawned on me that I'd been on courses with people, but I didn't really know what they did. So when you go through that kind of course junkie phase, you're meeting all of these people, and you might have been on really in-depth courses where you get to understand who they are as people, but what skills do they have and what do they do in their day job? And so I just thought, right, I'll get some people together who are entrepreneurial minded, and we'll start to talk and share and work out how we can work together, because often we're so busy in doing that we don't really know the skills that those around us have as well. And so it started as that, and then what I found out over time is the more I was doing it, the more I was bumping into what's creative. And I guess it's because I sit in between the creative world and the logical world. As a child, I did drama and acting and public speaking, dance and all that kind of creative stuff. And then I went on to do a degree in accounting and financial management, and I used to love maths. So I kind of have both those sides sort of in balance. So I can do the let's come up with a wild, crazy idea and see what we can do. But I can also back it up with implementations. I've run events myself on a number of scales. I've run events for other people. Be it high-end events, be it careers fairs. What I was finding really interesting is the sort of people I was attracting were people who really love what they do and are incredibly passionate about what they do, but were struggling to translate that into a viable business. And to me, I can kind of piece it together, and it really kind of made sense. And it dawned on me that there were a lot of really talented, creative entrepreneurs out there who were seriously just struggling to connect the commercial mindset. So Collaboration Club is really about providing resources, tools, educational facilities, courses, so on and so forth, to support the creative entrepreneur in turning that idea into a reality.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's amazing talent you have.
Thank you.
Who are your focus group? Do you help everyone, women, men, or it's
I work with men and women. I kind of have a cross section of both. I don't tend to have one more than the other. I tend to find that there's a lot of similarities with the creative mindset, regardless of whether or not it's male or female. I guess being female myself, I have a personal interest in kind of female issues, and I talk a lot about creatives being really brilliant business people, but I think there's a lot to be said about how fantastic women are as business people naturally, and that gets taken for granted, mainly because we just self-sabotage.
Tell us.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I found this article a while back where they said, if you're looking at a job, and if a man looks at the job and thinks he can do 80% of the job really well, he'll just go in and apply for it, hands-on, hell for leather, I can do this. If a woman looks at the same job and thinks she can do 80% of the job, she's reluctant, because it's not something that she understands end to end and can do the whole thing. And And so, you know, as women, our approach tends to be a lot different. And so we tend to hold ourselves back and need that encouragement a little bit more, or feel that the only way we can be successful is to then be masculine. And having been on that journey myself, it doesn't work. And the reason it really doesn't work is because it's inauthentic. So whether you're being more masculine or you're, you know, putting on a front to be more confident or be more, be louder, be more outspoken, if it's not naturally you, it just feels odd. So we all know those public speakers, and you've seen them on stage and you think, oh yeah, I really connect with them. And then you meet them off stage and it's like a completely different person. And that's really it's really difficult because we can't connect with that. And I think for a long time there's been this stereotype that the woman who's successful has got to be, you know, in a suit, and she's got to have her hair slicked back. And I'm saying all this because ironically my hair is up, like normally it's down. And they've got to dress a certain way and look a certain way in order to be successful. You know, you've got to go in there and do battle with the boys to be the thinking, and being able to look at what are the really powerful feminine traits. Because what women are really, really awesome at is being compassionate. What women are really awesome at is actually being able to read very subtle body signs, very subtle energies. You know, you just have, I call it women's intuition, right? It gets taken for granted, but sometimes women, as women, we just have a sense that men don't have. We have an ability to connect in a different way. We have an ability to build awesome relationships because we're chatterboxes. You know, we don't go in there and go, hi, right, let's get down to business. We've got to sit down and, you know, chat a little bit. And how are the kids and how are things going? And that's how relationships are built in business. Relationships aren't transactional in nature. That's just not, you know, that's not a relationship. That's the difference between going to a high-end fashion outlet and going to Primark. Primark is transactional. You go in, you pick something up, or go into a market, let's say. You go in, you pick something up, there's a price, you buy it, you leave. You're unlikely to see that individual again. When you're looking to really get great deals of business, it's more about building really, really great connections and really looking at how you can leverage your network. And I think the thing that a lot of women miss is our ability to connect and how powerful that is as a tool. Like how powerful it is that we can build networks where we have friends we can pick up the phone and call and stuff gets done. Like honestly, the things that I've got done just simply through relationships. Like you can get yourself in a bit of a bind and there's somebody I know who knows me well enough, who I've built a deep enough relationship with that I can call in a favor. And I think when women can start to see the currency of those relationships,
yes,
then we start to see how powerful we really are in business. But we discount them. Whether they're friends, we just have chit chats with everybody all over the place. You know, my mother's a classic for it. Anytime I see her, you put her anywhere, drop her in a room and she's made 5 new friends. And we don't do it in a woman's natural way of connecting is very genuine. It's not, we're not asking how the family is just because it's a question to tick off because we went to a connection course or relationship building course and they told us we should find out about people's personal lives. But we're going to ask that stuff anyway. Because we're interested. It's like, well, how was your day? And we're genuinely kind of interested in how your day was. It's not a case of how's your day? It was good. Okay, cool. Let's move on to business. We can have this period of just getting to know each other before having to dive into business. And there's a lot to be said for that, for creating a really strong foundation to build a business upon. because those relationships become such a strong bedrock for a business, and I think we really underestimate them. Seriously,
and that's actually our biggest power.
Yeah, it is. It's incredibly powerful. There's an exercise I do in a talk I do around networking where we literally totally shred the whole networking thing up and say, you know, I'm all about connection and collaboration. And I said, well, who do you know already? Because there's a lot we can do with our existing networks. Simply by kind of going, okay, your best friend or your top 5 friends, what do they do as a day job? And don't tell me they work in accounting. Like, when you say accounting, what do they do? What's their real talent? What skills do they have? Who else do they know? And when you start to like mine in this way for business, and as women generally, women just know a lot of people. Like, I don't know what it is about us. We're freaking chatterboxes. It's like, you know, a list of lots of friends, and it's asking different questions of them. But it's also being okay with let's say calling in the favor, because it seems to be that, in my experience, women have a challenge with picking up the phone to a friend and saying, right, I'm starting this business and you're a designer, I could really do with some help doing my logo, or I could really do with some help with the website. And we discount those too much. We seriously discount those too much. And we need to get out of our own head. If there's some like low-hanging fruit, why the hell are you climbing all the way to the top of the tree to get the one at the top when you can get a perfectly juicy apple by just reaching your hand and getting that? And I think the fundamentally, I think one of the things that really makes women awesome in business is our ability to build really, really great quality relationships. And the thing that gets in our way is our stuff about leveraging those relationships.
Yes.
You know, our stuff about asking for help. Or, oh, that's my friend and I don't want to get them involved, and all of this kind of, you're nodding your head because you recognize it, right?
At last. I don't know why, but we believe that we have to do everything by ourselves. It's like, I have difficulties to ask for help. It's like,
yeah, it's silly because it just takes us 10 times longer. And that's where I said it's the self-sabotage. And we'd be better off as female startups taking the time to figure out what the hell that is and work on that thing. And even if that means that you set yourself a task where you say, every day for the next 30 days, I'm going to pick up the phone and ask somebody for a favor.
And the other thing, like you mentioned before about being perfectionist, you know, like you said, if a man sees a job, if he feels he's 80%, he can do the job, he will just go for it. While we are not 100%, 110%, then we'll maybe do that. How we do overcome, how we can do like a man do, how we can get.
I think the thing is to understand that it's a path. See, when you see business as a destination, then it becomes, I've got it or I don't have it. When you see it as a journey, then go, well, at some point, regardless of what level you're at, there's always another level, right? So there isn't an end point. If there was an end point, companies would get to a certain size and the owners would retire and then there'd be nothing else going on. Like, why would they bother? But there isn't. Like, Richard Branson is still out there building businesses. He started with, can I start a magazine? He's now at, can I go to space? It's just different levels. You know, can I have a commercial spacecraft where people buy tickets to go to the moon? Like, that's the level he's playing at now. But he didn't start at that level. He started with a magazine, then a record shop. You know, you kind of build on it. And there's a real, it's really frustrating to watch startups get themselves so despondent at getting started, because you're looking at people and comparing yourself to people who've been in the game for 25, 30, 40 years. They didn't start there. They lost money. They screwed up. You know, they had some right royal screw ups along the way. Okay. Some of them you'll find in their bios. Some of them will never, you know, they've managed to cover them up, and, you know, there'll be a really small handful of people who are really close to them who'll know about it. But it's just part of the patchwork quilt. And if you're not prepared, you know, it's kind of like people really want to go on this fast track. But the thing is, if you want to be fast tracked and you want to get somewhere really quick, then you better have a pretty damn good seatbelt, because it's going to be a really bumpy ride, because you still have the learning curve and the pain associated with the growth. You're just going to experience it all in a much shorter period of time. So the bumps are inevitable. The screw ups are inevitable. The pain is inevitable. The success is what you're shooting for. And in order to get to that success, I don't care who you are, something went wrong. Olympic athletes have broken bones to get the success that they've got. They have, you know, they sacrificed to get what they've got. They've made stupid financial decisions along the route. They've bumped into people that they wish they'd never met. It's just part of the tapestry. It's part of the story. And to sit back and think that there's a perfect plan, by the time you come up with that plan, it'll be redundant, especially in this day and age with the way that technology goes. I think like 10, 15 years ago, like phones, you know, now mobile phone, I've got my emails, I've got Facebook, I've got, you know, all different manner of things. You know, I could basically use this to run my life.
Yes.
You know, the computer is now in this. There was a time when color on a phone was a big deal.
Exactly, and now we can be using also the EMAC to pay in the shops for that and transfer money. It's like
exactly.
And
so if you're going to sit back and wait until it's perfect, then you're not cut out for business, because business isn't about perfection. It's really about who the heck gets something out there first that works and can get traction.
This is gold. This we have to remember, because we are so perfect. I know myself. You know, it goes and goes, and I'm procrastinating, and it doesn't become, and I get irritated, and maybe I never will come to do it, because it will never become perfect. And the other thing we do as special women, we not only compare us to men, but we just try to do like everybody else. And like you said before, we forget to actually the highest value is to be authentic, to do you like you know, but it's scary. I know from myself also, looking how others do it, you know, the homepage, everything is supposed to be in a specific way. And
so there's a balance. There are some structures and strategies that are known to get certain levels of results, right? But you've got to put you into those. So if you lift something and you do it like somebody else, you remember like kids and you watch them playing dress ups? That's how your business looks and feels to everybody else. It's like you're in somebody else's clothes, you're in somebody else's shoes. It doesn't fit right and it feels wrong, right? But that in and of itself is a journey in finding you and the confidence, because guess what? You don't have to put on a front. Doesn't matter when I see you, there isn't a switching on and a switching off. It's just, this is how I am, this is how I work. And it makes everything else so much easier, because I liken it a lot to dating. Okay, so let's think of it this way. You know, when women, you know, you do your hair in a certain way, you act, you know, you're on your best behavior for those first few dates. You know, there are things that are irritating you about this person. Normally you're a bit lippy, but you're going to hold your tongue.
Yes.
You might have said, you know, normally you turn up in jeans, but now you've got high heels and a little dress and you feel freaking uncomfortable. Right now you bagged the man. He's interested in this woman who's sophisticated, holds her tongue and wears dresses and does her hair and her makeup. And now that you've bagged them, you're going to be you, right? And so on come the jeans and the flip-flops, and, you know, the hair is however the hair is, because I can't be bothered because it's just me. And now I'm going to tell you what I really think because we're over the nice honeymoon period. So I don't have to pretend that I like the way you eat. It's been irritating me for the past 3 months. So now I'm going to be really frank about it. Well, from the other perspective, from the man's perspective, it feels like, who is this woman? You've changed. The reality is you haven't changed. You've now shown up. But they didn't fall in love with you. They fell in love with the version of you presented them with. And it's the same with your business. When you put on this big front that isn't you, and you're talking in ways that isn't you, you've got to keep up that appearance all the time to your clients, because that's who they think you are. That's who they fell in love with. That's what they're connected to. And if that's not you, you're now stuck with the persona that you've got to keep carrying on if you want to maintain that level of success, or risk losing people and having to build up a different audience. Or you've got a personality disorder, so you now got to be two people. Yeah. For me, neither one of those works. And so to me, I kind of think I want to be able to be me in all areas of my life. It's easier. It's just simpler. Right? So if I don't like something, I'm just going to tell you I don't like it. I'm going to talk in the style that I talk in. And that's going to resonate for some people and not resonate for others. But it means I never have to put on a front. If somebody's natural style is they swear and they carry on and they're really abrupt, then do that. Use some of the tools that work, but do it in your style, because then you never have to pretend. You never have to put on to be anybody else other than who you are. Understand your audience. There are going to be some things that your audience is going to need to see from you up front. Like if you are eccentric and quirky and, really creative, and you want to go and work in the investment banking sector, understand that in order for them to open the door to you, they're expecting to see a certain thing. Now, once you're at a particular level, you can be whoever the heck you want to be, and there's not a problem. But there's this saying that when you're not known, you're crazy. When you're known, you're eccentric.
That's true.
When people have made it and they do all kinds of quirky things, they're eccentric. When they haven't made it, they're just crazy. It's like, so there might be some toning required, or a process to introduce people to that part of you for certain sectors and certain industries. But honestly, like, to my mind, to be anybody other than who you are is only going to get you into trouble. It's too much like hard work.
Yeah. But still many women also hold themselves back because they like that everybody should like them. And therefore also they would be nicer, or playing the role, just like.
See, the thing is, like, I need to like shoot that one down. Like, everybody's not going to like you. If that's what you want, don't go into business. It's not possible. Because you're not for everybody. Like, if you're doing your job right in business, there are going to be people who don't like you.
Yes.
They don't like what you do. They're not interested in your style. You're not for everybody. Like, not everybody likes chocolate ice cream. If chocolate ice cream got upset that not everybody likes chocolate ice cream, it'd be being stupid. People like chocolate ice cream. Some people want a tiramisu. Other people want vanilla ice cream. There's enough for everybody. But when you understand who you work well with and who you're for, then you don't get hung up about the people who don't like you, because they weren't for you anyway. So, like, if I have a techie person, because I'm not naturally for techies, right? I've worked in technical sectors, but if I've got somebody who says they want to grow their tech startup, I am probably not the best person for them to speak to.
Yeah.
Probably not the best person for them to speak to. I'm okay with that, because that's not my audience. Yeah. So you start to get to know whose opinion counts. So when you get that you're not for everybody, you can then go, well, whose opinion actually counts? Who should I give a crap about? Because I don't need to give a crap about everybody, but there's certain people, like if your target audience and the people that you should be doing really great business with are saying, look, I'm not happy with the way you're working right now. There's something about the way that you're delivering that isn't working for me, you need to listen to them.
Yeah. And that's a great thing to remember when you go in business, right? And then you also are prepared and it's easier.
Yeah, if I'm training to be an ice skater, why do I care that basketball coaches don't like me?
Yes. And I like also,
They're not relevant.
yeah, we don't have so much time left. I like to also tell you, if you tell, how do you work with women? And I saw there's on your website, it's a free book they can get, pain advice.
So the website is currently being redone. At a really high level, there are a few different ways you can connect with me. If you go onto YouTube and go to youtube.com/user/collaboration club, I have loads and loads of videos on there that you can go and have a look at. It's a series called Lovelda Bites. And on there, I share like snippets of stuff like how to do business with exercises that you can go and do. And that's like totally free to go and access. I also interview entrepreneurs. So I've interviewed people like Rachel Elnor from Dragon's Den. And I do a radio series once a week. So there's loads of content there where I'm talking to other experts that you can go and connect with. There's about 100 odd videos on the YouTube channel at the moment. So there's loads of content. I also run an event once a month in London called Collaborate Forward, and you can find all the dates and information for that on the website, www.thecollaborationclub.com. It's £20 to join, and it's creative minds coming together to work out the next steps. It's getting you out of your business, working on your business rather than in your business. So it's taking a step back once a month to go, right, where are we? What's the challenge? What are my next steps? Because being a business owner isn't about like just having your head down working. You've got to pop it up every now and then and say, where am I and what are the next steps? There are also opportunities to work with me one-to-one. I have a program that I've recently launched called Ideas to Reality in 30 Days or Less. You'll see it launch properly when the website goes live at the end of the month. But if you want to find out more about that, if you just drop me an email, it's Lovelda, Lovelda at thecollaborationclub.com. Or if you go on the website, go on to contact us. I respond to all of the emails on there anyway. And that's a one-to-one program. It starts with a 30-minute consultation. So you can apply for that. We can have a look and see if we're compatible. And that's a 3-hour consultation where we look at your business and say, right, where are we right now? My objective with creative entrepreneurs is to get them to the point where what they're doing in their business is just the stuff that they love. And everything else, we've managed to put a team, systems, leverage, processes around it so that they're not coming up with an idea and then that idea isn't going anywhere because it's like, I have to do all of this stuff and I don't want to do it and now I'm bored. So if you struggle from like boredom syndrome where you've got this graveyard of half-started ideas, then yeah, come to me. Let's get a session in. We can, if you just email me, just drop me an email, check out the website. If you've got any questions, I'm totally contactable. My Twitter handle is @TogetherGrowth. I'm on Facebook. Like, I'm not that difficult to find. With a name like Lovelda, I'm really not that difficult to find.
Oh, that's great. There's a lot of valuable things you offer free, and that it's amazing. I will put also in my blog site. And then also, what would be your advice, especially for women when they are considering starting business or moving forward more powerfully? What do you, to wrap up?
I think the biggest advice I can give is be bold. And what that means to me is putting on your big girl pants and being prepared to do some of those things that just make you feel that little bit scared. You know, picking up the phone and making that phone call when your hand's kind of shaking. And if you can be bold every day, just doing something that makes you uncomfortable or something that's new, just pushing the boundaries of where you're comfortable just a little bit every single day. By the end of the year or by the end of the month, you'll look back and go, heck, there's all of this stuff I've acquired that I've done that I didn't even think I could do. Because it's always all just one little step at a time. And so even that big, crazy vision, Like, you know, we've got those huge ideas, like never let go of it. But every day, just make a choice, and it is a choice to be bold. Make a choice to step that, you know, step into something that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, and not just for the sake of being uncomfortable, but because that discomfort is required to get you closer to your goals. So if, for example, your thing is, I want to be, you know, I want to be out there being somebody who's a beacon of hope to other women. I want to be a spokesperson for other women and encourage them. And you're terrified of speaking, then part of that journey is going to be getting more comfortable with talking. And it might be just doing a blab, you know, and if you need somebody to be on the show, then call me. Like, I'm happy to like be part of that journey with you. Like, that doesn't bug me. That might be the first step. It might be, you know, just doing a talk at a school. But that little baby bold step at a time, one bold step after one bold step, by the end of the year, you're now, you know, you now got a suite of talks that you can do and you're comfortable with that. And now you've got a website that you need to do, and that's something new that you don't understand. But just the simplest, easiest one thing that I would say is be bold.
That's a wonderful tip. That's a great advice, and I can take it with me, because every day one bold thing that takes
one bold step at a time,
and it becomes huge. It's not like it's also much easier to look at it. You know, you don't need to eat elephant at once. You eat it slowly, but it takes. You have to be brave.
Yeah, it takes courage. Business takes courage. And so just that big girl pants, big deep breath, go out there.
Because it's worth it. And it's worth it, right?
It's absolutely worth it.
So our time is almost run, so I will thank you, Lovelda, for this conversation. Thank you for the wonderful insights and tips. I hope everybody can take with them. I truly can take with me, remember to be authentic, not compare myself, you know, with the successful people where I'm now and where are they now. We have to remember that we all start somewhere, and by taking those bold steps every day, it's the only way. Or
it is. You are more than welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.